Thank you so much for tuning in to WUSA 9 Plus. I'm Katie Lasso. Hard to believe, but it's been 1 year since Tarrick McGuire took over as the police chief of Alexandria. Well, he sat down with me for a one-on-one interview and we spoke about everything from crime, why building trust within the community is so important, and immigration. Take a listen to our full conversation.
So actually, I started the week of Thanksgiving,
Okay.
Which will be next week. And so it's quickly approaching. And really, it's a milestone for me. I moved from Texas on last year, excited and optimistic about this opportunity to be Alexandria's 16th police chief. And I actually started the week of Thanksgiving officially and was sworn in December. And so it has been a very busy, exciting year here in Alexandria.
Does it feel like a year?
It feels more so like 2 or 3 years
Okay.
in police chief years. But yes, it has been almost 12 months, and as I stated previously, every single day is an opportunity. Every single day is very busy, and the most exciting thing is to see the transformative factors that we have put in place to tell a little bit of our success, but we always have so much work to do.
I know you said you moved here from Arlington, Texas, but you are familiar with Alexandria. Talk to me about your history here in Alexandria prior to becoming the police chief.
Yes, I share with people all the time that in 2016, I had an opportunity to come to the DMV region to work on national police reform when President Obama was in office. And during that time, we were focusing on 21st century policing task force and helping police departments across America work through those pillars and implementation of those pillars. And so I had an opportunity to be a policing fellow here at the International Association of Chiefs of Police, which is headquartered here in Alexandria. And I lived, breathed, worked here in this city, and it really opened up the diaspora for me for understanding policing across the nation. And it was a moment of faith. And what I mean by that is I enjoyed my time here. I went back to Texas. I continued to move up in the organization that I worked for, and this opportunity came later. And I'm so happy to be here, happy to deal with the challenge and work with people in this city and across this region every day.
We're going to get to the challenges in a moment, but I want to talk a little more about your history. You know, when you think back to being here in Alexandria initially, did you always dream of being a police chief one day?
You know, when you think about just being a police officer in general, right, it's a calling to public safety. And so, you know, as a young police officer, you know, from my generation, you're just happy to have a job, right, and get started in your career. And over time, you progress and you move forward through leadership roles. And then ultimately, you see yourself in a seat that you may have not initially intended to be in, but as you continue to grow through your organization, you have higher leadership standards and opportunities. And so once I became a part of the command staff in Arlington, Texas, and had broader leadership opportunities and experience, I knew that ultimately my goal was to be a police chief in a city where it fitted my background, it represented my core principles as a person, and when this opportunity became available, I knew that I was going to put in for it and seek to be the police chief here in Alexandria.
When you first decided to take this on and go through the process of getting considered and then being chosen to be the police chief, what was your initial goal coming in?
Right. I think number one, the initial goal is to develop relationships. You know, a lot of times when you come outside, from the outside as a chief, there are several factors that comes in as being a chief of police. You know, whether it's a council manager form of government or a strong mayor type of government, I think one of the most important decisions that the higher authority will tell you is who is going to be in charge of public safety. And so I know that this was a critical opportunity and it was a critical decision that was made. But coming in from another state and just another city, it's important to work to develop relationships. And so at that time, I hit the ground running. I met with our officers in the police department. I met with people in the community, right, and you hear a diverse perspective of what is wrong, what needs to be corrected. But most importantly, I've really tried to focus on, within my first year, about how do we cast a vision to work toward collaboration, to improve the things not only in the department and throughout the city that matters to people. And I will tell you that it is not always an easy task. We're still working through some of those issues, but I am very optimistic about where we were at Thanksgiving last year and to where we're going to be at by the end of the year this year.
What are some of the challenges you think you really realized existed in Alexandria right off the bat?
Well, I will tell you that after becoming the chief, reading articles that were published, is crime is up in Alexandria for the third year in a row. And I know that, number one, police chiefs are not only developed or judged by the relationships that they have in the community, but they're also judged ideally by the crime rate. And so, you know, it was important for me to create a framework that we were looking at crime systematically on a weekly basis, that we were employing strategies that not result in community harm, but that would improve community safety, focusing on those that were coming into our city, that were committing heinous crimes, and that we were holding them accountable, not only through arrest, but also through restorative practices and justice at times. And so I'm optimistic that we will finish the year this year, and the headline will be, after a year, that crime is down significantly in the city of Alexandria. And it's really been a part of our team working together with our community to have these type of results that have been yielded thus far.
Obviously, as a police chief and as so many other chiefs across this area, across the country, statistics are so important. But what is the message to people who don't necessarily feel safe? They see those numbers, and regardless of what those numbers say, it's really about how people feel. What is the message to people who still don't feel safe?
Number one, I want them to know we're here and we're working. And I think that our men and women, regardless of what the challenge of the day is, they're out on the streets even as of right now. They're working hard to address the criminal element in and around within our areas. But the second thing that I think is very important is that not only the police department is working toward public safety, but every other city department here in the city of Alexandria is working cohesively together to execute the mayor and council's goal of community safety. And that's the thing that I've been impressed about as well. Upcoming in the next week, we're not only going to have our initial crime review meeting as we do every single week, but we're also incorporating other city departments in a collaborative sense to help us toward problem solving. Because when people hear about public safety, the first thing that they think about is crime, but there are also times that the issue may be surrounded about a quality of life issue. It's not necessarily a criminal issue. And so I think that that also has advanced public safety here within the city, is that I want people to know that we are working collaboratively together to address the issues that they believe that are important.
How have you been addressing those quality of life issues without making people feel a certain way? How are you working to keep relationships with the community while also addressing those quality of life issues?
Well, Alexandria is a very diverse city, right? You go to the East End, the West End, or the Old Town area, right? You're going to hear a different variance of opinions. You're going to hear a different variance of issues. And I have always said it's so important not only just to be present, but to meet people where they are. Even if it's comfortable or uncomfortable, it's important that we listen, but it's important that we devise a plan and a strategy to address what those issues are. So even in our retail district as it relates to Old Town or Potomac Yards, right, we have seen consistent issues surrounding larcenies, especially around clothing items that can be rather expensive. So we have imparted a unit called ATOP, the Alexandria Tourism Oriented Policing Unit, and that Pacific unit is working with our retailers. We know that what drives our larcenies within this city is high retail theft. So someone can go into a store and steal an item, or two or three items, and those items may equate to $1,000 or thousands of dollars. And so we're working collaboratively, especially in those areas where we have high business, high traffic, to address larceny issues and other nuisance crimes. And we're seeing the positive end results, not because of just what the police are doing, but because we're working with those businesses and locations to eradicate the crime in those areas.
Obviously, the holidays are quickly approaching. Old Town is such a popular spot for shopping. What are you guys doing to ensure that we don't see an uptick in those larcenies and crimes of that nature as people are coming here in regards to tourism and spending their money here?
You know, we have a holiday plan that is about to go into effect the week of Black Friday. And that holiday plan is going to, number one, is going to be intelligence-led. We know where the data is. We know the time of days that people have historically committed offenses within our city. And we know how they're coming in and out of our city. And so think about this for a moment. We are the DMV, right? We're in this DMV region. Someone can commit a crime here and be in an entire another state within 10 minutes. And so we are strategizing and working with those businesses, but we're also reminding people strategically and geographically across the city to ensure that you're locking up your items. Package thefts have been a very significant issue over time, especially when delivery drivers are leaving things on the porch. And so we are compelling people and asking them to have greater coordination and securing your valuables not only in your vehicle, but the old adage of see something, say something. We want people to be aware, and ultimately, if you see something that does not look right, pick the phone up and call us and allow us to respond and handle the issue. And so we're going to have this plan in place systematically and sequentially, as we have done other times during this year when we have saw increases in spikes in crime. And the bottom line is that we will arrest you and we will identify you if you come here to Alexandria or if you live in Alexandria and you commit a crime.
Can't go past the holidays without talking about Halloween. Obviously, you guys got attention, local, but also national attention for, you know, a group of kids, teenagers who thought what they did was a prank. Obviously, it had a real impact on the homeowners there. Can you talk to me about what it was like getting attention of that magnitude for something like that in the city of Alexandria?
Well, I would tell you I didn't anticipate that level of attention. But I was able to highlight a very serious issue, but also communicate a message to not only young people, but to our greater community. Number one, I said that we would identify who was involved in that incident, and our detectives worked deliberately multiple hours to not only work with the people that are here within our city, but within our region to identify persons that were involved in that incident. The second thing is that I called it a moral failure. Because I think it's important for parents to guide young people right in the correct dynamic, to be sure that they have principles that do not align with criminal actions. And so, you know, in the end, I know that there were a lot of people that wanted the incident to result in an arrest. And I think that we had to make a decision that was consistent with not only what the victim wanted in that situation, but also in collaboration with the Commonwealth attorney. And so, you know, to me, it was not a failure, right? It was a deliberate action to show the level of police work that we do within this city to resolve issues, but at the same time, it was a lesson to learn, not only for the people that were involved, but I was happy to say that during Halloween, we had no similar issues. And so while it may not have been a win for everyone, it was definitely a key lesson learned for people that were here within our community and probably for people all throughout the United States.
I know during that press conference you said, you know, if we could press charges, we would, but we're choosing not to. You know, to the people who say things along the lines of those kids will never learn because they weren't punished, what do you say to that?
There's something called restorative justice. And restorative justice does not always equate to the criminalization behind an implicit action. And I think most importantly is to understand that we as the police work on behalf of the victim, right? What is important to the victim? And in this case, I believe that through communication that our department has had with the victim and the extension of those that were involved in this situation, my hope is that some restorative justice has been implemented. And, you know, we don't always publicize every single thing that happens because, again, we want to be respectful of the victim in this case. But I believe that there is some restorative practice that was the outcome of this particular situation in lieu of arresting someone and putting them in jail with criminal charges.
Do you have kids yourself?
I absolutely do.
You know, did you talk to your kids about what happened there? Did you have a conversation? What was that like for you as a parent to see something like that happen?
You know, my children, quite frankly, they understand the dynamics of work-life sacrifice of their father. When I talk to my kids and we sit down and we have conversations about a multitude of things, you know, their vision and viewpoint is my dad's a police chief. They see their dad as someone that they are proud of. And I think the hardest thing for anyone that sits in this seat, they understand that there is no work-life balance. it is strictly work-life sacrifice. And at the end of the day, you're working just as similar as other persons that are in public safety because you want to see a better future, especially for your children if you are a parent. And so this is about, again, the calling that you take upon as a leader. Leadership is not easy. It's often difficult. But also when it comes to my children, my goal is to create a better world than the one that they were born into.
What has been the hardest thing for you as the police chief? What have you learned is kind of the most challenging part of this job in the past year?
Well, I think there are multiple challenges, right? I think that if anyone knows anything about my background, one of the most critical areas that I have always focused on as a police leader is community engagement. I want everyone from every diverse perspective of our community to know that they matter, to know that no matter what their zip code is, no matter what neighborhood that they live in, that they're going to receive the same level and amount of service. And I will tell you that, immigration enforcement as across the nation has been a challenge as it relates to yielding to the continuance of building public and community trust. And so we have, worked with our community partners to the best that we could. To number one, let people know that we are rooted in the values of the city of Alexandria, and our police department is reflective of that and upholding the Constitution. We want people to know here within this city that regardless of who they are, whatever their demographic is, number one, we will not only hold them accountable to the law, but we will also see humanity in them. And I've said this publicly multiple times, which has been very challenging for some to understand in our community. Our police department focuses on criminal enforcement. We do not focus on administrative enforcement. We will obey all laws, but we have a specific role in public safety in this city, and that does not change and will not change. I think the second thing is that, we have a multi-generational workforce. And like every other police department within this region, we're seeking to hire the best and the brightest officers to serve the uniqueness of our community as it would any other police department in this region. And so we're always working to retain employees, we're working to hire employees, and we will continue to kind of have those challenges as we go into the next year. The thing again that I'm most proud of is our team. People come to work and they do the job every single day. We continue to go recruit. We continue to still work to build those relationships regardless of what the challenges are. And the things that anyone knows about policing, if you've been in this profession a long time, it's never easy, right? The hard things are easy, the impossible things take a little bit more time. And so at times we're working on the hard things in the short term. The impossible things are the longer strategic items that we have to work upon. But I am confident in the people that we have here in this city, the support that we will have from our mayor and council, our city manager, and we're going to get the job done.
Let me ask you this. You brought up immigration. Does the Alexandria Police Department work directly with ICE?
I have no inkling. I have no knowledge of when ICE comes into our community. Again, there are separate roles as it relates to enforcement. We do not enforce federal law in local municipalities. That is not our job and our goal. That is federal law enforcement's position, and that is their job. We do not work with ICE. We have a lot of federal partners. We value those relationships, especially when it comes to removing criminal elements from our city. We still run criminal search warrants. We still run criminal arrest warrants. And that involves our federal partners, but it does not involve immigration and customs enforcement. And we have no role in that process.
Are you ever in communication with them when you are, like, say you arrest someone, is ICE notified of that person being arrested?
No, we do not reach out to ICE in that capacity. There are processes that are in our policy that we follow, and there are also processes as it relates to notification when someone is in custody. We have nothing to do with the custody of persons that are in jail. And I think that we work collaboratively again with our partners, but we have no role and responsibility as it relates to administrative enforcement. We strictly focus on criminal enforcement.
Is there a time and place where somebody in the neighborhood will see an ICE agent inside of an Alexandria police car working hand in hand with Alexandria police?
No, you will not. And I will say this, I know that there has been a lot of communication as relates to, is this the regular police or the local police, or is this federal law enforcement? Again, we work with our federal partners. We work with the U.S. Marshals Task Force. We work with the FBI. And when we work in collaboration with them, as we always have, it's been regarding a criminal matter, not an administrative matter. If we take anyone into custody, the Alexandria Police Department, it is because of a criminal law violation. It has nothing to do with an administrative, federal violation.
What is your advice to people who, as you mentioned, are looking around and they're wondering, are you a local police officer? Are you a federal officer? What is your advice to those people?
Well, number one, we've tried to communicate to people what our uniforms look like. This seal, this patch that's on my arm is what we represent. It's also visible on our badge. And I will tell you at times that's challenging for people to understand and or know. We have went through multiple avenues to communicate through certain stakeholders in our community, our existence, when we run warrant services and when we make an arrest. But I cannot speak to the fear that people have as it relates to police, right? This is not a right now issue. It's probably at times iterations been a historical issue. There are times that the National Guard has been deployed in communities, right, as it relates to civil unrest in other areas. One thing that I will remain consistent upon as police chief is that building relationships is a daily process. And absolutely, we will be accountable as a police department. But I'm also looking for people to partner with strategically to address these matters together. Because at the end of the day, we're going to respond to calls for service. And when our officers respond to those calls for service, they're responding to a human being. They're not responding to a status of a person and or individual. And so in the confinements of that framework, we're here to serve everyone that comes into our city that needs our help.
Is there a conversation when you do arrest someone of what is your immigration status?
No, that will violate our policy. We are not to ask anyone what their immigration status is here within our city.
And then, speaking of federal law enforcement, how has the increase of federal law enforcement across the DMV impacted policing for the city of Alexandria?
Again, as it relates to criminal enforcement, we're still following what our operations are. And this is nothing new. These are areas that have been in our policies for quite some time, even before my existence here. We're continuing to update our policies. And so, again, there has been an indifference as it relates to the existence of police in communities. There has been some indifference of opinion if it is local police and federal law enforcement, and how we're working together to address criminal matters, which we fully support. We do not want persons that bring danger and harm in our communities, and we will take criminal law enforcement serious to remove them from our communities. As it relates to administrative enforcement, again, the federal government has a clear role and they have a responsibility in how they address those matters. But if I would bring it together to understand that our actions are rooted in the Constitution and those constitutional amendments. And the 14th Amendment really signifies that people have equal protection up under the law, all persons. And the Fifth Amendment clarifies that people are subject to due process. And in our actions, our job is to model what we have taken oath to, what we raise our right hand to, and that is to protect the Constitution of the United States and execute the laws here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that's what we're committed to doing.
And now let me ask, has it impacted community policing at all?
Yes, it has.
In what way?
There are times where we're able to clearly communicate with people, and there are times that trust has been broken because of what the fear is. And that's why I said that we're going to continuously work toward what that goal is, and that goal is to let people know no matter who they are, what they are, we're here to work with them, and we're going to follow the law, but we're also here to ensure that their safety is paramount.
What do you think is something people don't know about you that you think is really interesting, that you wish more people knew about you?
Wow, that's a great question. In this role as a chief, you are working, man, I wouldn't say 24/7, but you're constantly thinking about how to make things better. When you get to this level, it's really not about you. It's really about developing your team. It's about developing your staff, and it takes a commitment. And I think that the other thing is that you have to be in the right position, and you have to have the support from city leadership. And it's challenging at times. I have peers within the region, the other chiefs in the area. We talk. We all share some of the same challenges. We all share some of the same problems. But at the end of the day, we care about the people that are under our watch, and we care about the community that we serve. And so it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not a weekends off job. It's a job of commitment. Outside of this, I'm a former athlete.
Okay.
I have to remind myself former sometimes. I played college football, and I came from a family of football players. But at the core, my job and my role is to help this police department move forward. I want people to know when they come to this city, they are safe, they are protected, but they are in a model American city. You have to think back when I came here first as a police chief. The first press conference that I did was arresting 3 juveniles as relate to a murder. And so crime in Alexandria is transient at times, but there are increases in violent crime, and there are also increases in larcenies sporadically throughout the year. So there are some yoga clothing brands that are here within our city that probably drive larcenies, but I would probably tell you that there are spikes in violence throughout the year at key points. That's the same way that there are larcenies. But I'm proud to say that we are, as of this week, 30% down in crime compared to last year, and our goal is to finish this year with that same trend.
Larceny and violent crimes are both down?
Yes.
All right, so about to be 1 year down. How are you feeling? You ready for 20 more?
Well, the thing about it is that when you have success after 1 year, you want to continue to keep that momentum. And I think that my message to the community is that we have been listening. We're working on a 5-year public safety plan that we hope to roll out early next year to define how we will police, but also what collaboration looks like moving forward. Not only just collaboration, but technology enhancements. The world of public safety is far advancing, just as any other business or economic structure in America. And so we have to continue to be a part of that change, which means that we have to evolve how we police the community. And so that's what I'm excited about, rolling out the 5-year public safety plan. I want people to see themselves in the plan, again, because public safety is a collaboration, not just with the police, but among all city sectors.
When does that come out?
We are projecting to have it out at least by March of next year.
Any hints as to what might be in there?
It will be rooted in several pillars. Those pillars will be representative of not only frameworks and how we will execute public safety within our city, but again, there will also be pillars that speak to strategies, that speak to analysis, and that speaks to how we will all collectively work together to address those issues. So we plan to have a public acknowledgement and process of how we will release that plan.
Okay, and I guess next you're working on the Alexandria Police Department's football league?
I don't know about that.
You got to start one up.
But what I will say is that there are iterations throughout the year. So I will, speak about our community engagement, specifically from our crime prevention unit and our school youth resource unit. This past year, I have played kickball. I have done a lot of things that have involved sports and athletics. But I made a point to you earlier that I am a former college football player, and my body is quickly telling me that I can support and have limited engagement in some of those public-facing activities. But our department is fully engaged in the community. They really encourage me by the work that they're doing, and they have a cross-sector strategy to engage all segments of our community.